Hello, welcome back to Just for Today. I'm Jamal Normie.
Hey, I'm the recovering addict, Miranda.
And we're gonna talk about insanity. First kind of scripture.
Today's scripture comes from Acts 26:25. But Paul declares, I'm not insane, most noble Festus. Rather, I am speaking the sober truth.
Right. So, I don't know. Paul, was he a drunk or something in the Bible?
You're supposed to know.
What do you mean I'm supposed to know? You're the one that picked the scripture. You need
the
to...
reason why I picked that scripture
was just because you said sober
to
truth?
me, that's what insanity is. Like that's what you're saying. Like, I'm not insane. I'm speaking the sober truth. Even though it may not be the truth, like insanity is like thinking that you are speaking the truth and believing what you think is right,
But what's the backstory with Paul, though?
I don't know.
He's speaking the sober truth. Aren't you supposed
to like read the whole...
Shouldn't you be researching the context of the scripture?
No.
No? You're just saying random scripture?
Well, I'm searching scripture that I relate to. I know it could be like something that's totally...
Yeah, that could be something. I think the point is so that we're learning as we're going along, as well as teaching other people as we're going along. We're all learning together. Yeah. So you should have context of what you're speaking about.
Yeah.
But from that one scripture, it sounds like Paul might be a drunkard or have some sort of a problem, and right now he's sober and speaking his sober truth. I don't know for sure, but it could be. So that could tie right in. So there are different aspects of insanity. When we're talking about insanity, though, and an addiction, it's the act of doing same things over and expecting different results. So that's all over addiction, right? Mm-hmm. And it ties into the whole dopamine aspect of it, right? You do something, you create this toxic cycle where you're doing something, and then
you have regrets.
You crash, like you do something, and then you do something, and then you crash, and then you're like, okay, I'm never. You feel guilty probably. You're like, I'm never gonna do this again. Mm-hmm. And over time, which leads to relapse, right? You're probably gonna, and then at that point, because it's been so long, you start telling yourself lies over time, and then you're like, okay, just this one more time, and then you'll binge. Generally, like you'll do more than what you probably did before, mm-hmm. and then you're back in that cycle. You're like, then you feel even more like bad about it, and then so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. And you can't get out of it. But to yourself, you're like, I can get away with it this once. Yeah. It's gonna be different this time.
You still think that you have control over your addiction.
Yeah.
You tell yourself, I can quit after this last time. Mm-hmm. All I can do is just this one hit. Like you think, you don't want to admit that you don't have control over your decisions. Yeah. And that's what insanity is. Like you don't have control over your decisions. Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of times people will change aspect of it. Well, this time I'm going to do it this way, and I'll be able to get out of it. This time I'm not going to be doing it in the same path, but the issue is you.
Yeah. Or you rationalize. You're, like, okay, well, since I'm going to go out, I have to, like I can just relate to it. Like, well, I need to stay awake. I don't want to be asleep at 9 o'clock at night. So just this one time, I'm going to do it. Like you just rationalize your using.
Yeah, and it's not even, and that's with any addiction though, because. And actually, it's more than even just addiction. Like it's
insanity.
It's just insanity in general.
Your brain is, you have a brain condition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I wonder, so, like things like relationships and parenting and things like that, it also bleeds into, right? Like, so, I wonder if that's like an addictive trait. Like the people that say, "I'm gonna do it this way." And then they get the same results with like their kids, or they get the same results with their job and things like that. Insanity can be anywhere, I guess.
Insanity is also like living in that chaos, like that fear leads you to live that fear, and regret leads you to living in chaos, and that chaos makes you feel like that's normal, you know, whether it's drugs, gambling, sex, you know, or, you know, like you said, like with children, you know, if there's such chaos in your home, you don't know that it is chaos because that's your new normal.
You haven't seen anything different.
Yeah, not seeing anything different, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I relate to going back to, like, my active addiction, you know, like, it was insane for me to think what I was doing was okay, or that I'm not going to get in trouble, or, like, me crossing my moral compass line. Like, I no longer thought about that, you know, or like having like consequences to my actions, or just, you know, just crazy just to think, like, you know, my weight loss, like, oh, like that was another thing I wanted to bring up. Like, growing up, I had self-esteem issues, so, you know, once I got skinny and I was able to like wear whatever clothes I wanted, like, I thought I looked good. Like, I was at the most confident I've ever been in my life. And then, like, looking back at my photos, it's like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe that I thought that was okay. You know, the fact that I was like getting bruises left and right.
I could do this.
Yeah, like, literally, you know, and I thought, oh, I'm fine, you know, like that. I
should have been a flag right there. I should have known better.
You think, you know, you're just so caught up in your issues, your like lies. In your lies, and just as long as you get that next hit, like, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
You were just chasing that hit.
Yeah. And it's crazy to think that, you know, even like with people I look back at now, like did my mind change? I don't understand what.
Well, you've learned, you've been educated on this, so you're more aware. You know, once you learn something, you're more aware of it. Like, you know.
Yeah, but taste though, like, I thought you're you're always attractive. You're still,
and I think,
but I go back and I'm like, gosh, you're really skinny. Like, that's like not healthy.
I go back to think, like, okay, so I mean, my reasoning was I was in full blown addiction. Like, what's your excuse? You know, like, you thought that was hot, like, and you thought what was going on was okay. Like, but I didn't
know about your drugs, so it's not like I thought what was going on was okay. But I thought
other things too, though, that were going on, like, you know, like.
But I mean, that's just the world. We were both on the world system.
Yeah.
So that, if we're talking all that kind of stuff, but I'm just talking about the simple fact that I thought you were always beautiful. Mm-hmm. But I thought you. Oh my gosh! I thought you were attractive. You know, just that, and then now even other people that I know go back and look at their pictures, it's like, wow, you guys are probably on drugs, and I thought you guys were.
But I think now you probably think a lot of people are, like, you're in the mindset that I was when I was in full-blown active addiction. Like, I swear everybody was getting high in the bathroom. Like, I swear everywhere I work, like, if they're able to do multiple things, like, there's no way you can do it sober. Like, you're doing it. And I think that's kind of because you're always telling me, like, look at this person, like, are they on drugs? And then I'm over here thinking, well, it could literally be like an eating disorder, you know, or like a health condition. Like, I'm not, my first go-to isn't, oh, they're on drugs. Like,
well, no, it's not just that though. These are people that I know, so I know
their lifestyle
traits and their style and things that we're, you know, in.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm judging people. It's just thinking back to where you were, and comparing and contrasting along with skinny, you know, the bone structure and all that stuff. It's
that
like,
makes me mad, because then, you know, going back and like nobody knew. Well, I'm assuming that nobody knew, but it's like, you know, okay, so I'm like, I got issues, right? We all have issues when it comes to like Facebook. Like, I go back and all my memories and stuff, and like I'll post a photo and I'll get like 40 likes, and of course that's the dopamine, that's that feeling like, oh, it makes me feel good because I get all these likes, and then I go back and I'm like, oh my god, like everyone thought that was hot, that was like, oh, you're so beautiful, you know. And then now I'll post a photo, and I'll be lucky if I get like 10.
Oh, here you go.
If I get 10 likes,
friends, you know, like,
nobody pays attention anymore.
But friends have changed. The type of audience, I guess.
And it's looking at my algorithm, because I got rid of so many people, and then I joined them back, you know, because I was.
Mine too. Like, I swear people don't see my posts sometimes. I think
it's algorithm,
you know, created a whole new fate.
The way it was, like, to 8 years ago, it's different than it is now. See, issues. Like, I'm over here worried about that.
Yeah. And you used to post everything just for looks. I look at my legs.
Post whatever's on my mind. I was like, oh my God. But it was for entertainment. It got me through my day.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Things have changed.
Yeah.
Things for the better.
Yeah, definitely. I don't expose myself as much anymore because I don't need that attention. Like, I was craving and wanting that attention. Didn't matter from who or what kind of attention, you know? Any type of attention, I was fine.
Do not get me started. God kept us together. Whew. The amount of attention you needed. It was crazy.
I know.
Yeah. But it's so crazy how it's like two different people.
Yeah.
Like, you're like a completely different person. Never mind the fact that church and God and everything like that, but you truly...
Like, I have to actively, you know, when we're talking about sanity and insanity, you know, like, insanity is like the manifestation of my addiction, right? And sanity is the recovery part. So I have to actively stop my brain, you know, when I start to think on that negative path. I know that's the path to insanity, you know, so I have to, like, you know, get in my church and reconfigure my friends and, you know, find new, you know, environments or whatever so that I can stay sane versus leaking back to the insanity, you know?
Yeah. I'm thinking about insanity on the bigger, broader spectrum. After drugs, you know, there's still a lot of insanity though. Like, I've, you know, looking back some of the videos, like, I repeat stuff sometimes, right? Your mom was saying. But I've gotten so accustomed to having to repeat myself.
That's true. Yeah. Like, you have to teach. It's true.
You know, so it's like
I would not grasp what you were saying.
Yeah.
And I still have that habit, you know, not as bad, but...
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that today, like how we talked about something last week, and I actively see you're putting in effort. I'm like, wow, like you're putting in effort right away. And I don't know, like, I have a damaged piece in me where, you know, I don't put something into effect right away, you know, like I have to go the long way to figure things out.
That's the thing, that you just need to just do it. Like, you need to stop thinking about it and just do it. Like, whatever, you know, just do it. Like, that's what stops when you stop to think about something. You know? And then...
Well, no, but that's what you taught me to do, because I would respond. You know, I had issues with my feelings and responding on my anger and whatnot. So that's because I'm so much, you know, in my addiction, I would just do what I want because I want it, and I care about the consequences, like, as long as it fed whatever I needed inside. And so what I had, you know, to get to my sane part, I have to stop and I have to think.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But the whole idea of doing that is to get you out of that mind frame and to shake up and break down your foundation. Now you have a foundation, so you should be able to just react.
That's true.
You know, and build qualities that you're just able to just react to in a normal manner without having to sit and think. Because when you sit and think about stuff, nothing gets accomplished. You need to just do now at this point. You should be able to, for the most part. I mean, and also, you know, if you're in a negative mindset versus a positive one. So
it's true.
So you should be able to know what things you don't have to think about and some things you do have to think about. And
then also, like, you know, getting into going from insanity to sanity, like, to keep my sanity, I have to work my program. I have to, like, actively work on changing my defects and whatnot. And then you come across people who they're not in a program. Not everyone is in addiction, but everyone has problems, you know? So, like, dealing with just, you know, normal people who, it's like, geez, like, if everybody had these tools of working that program, like, the world would be in a lot better place, you know, like turning to God and just turning everything over to God and going that way. It's like it would just make things run a lot smoother, and the world would be a better
Yeah, but people don't understand or don't know like we know. You know, nobody takes the time to truly, and not even just this, just understand things in general. Like, we all have to get educated. We all just react, and we all just do. We all just feel, and we all make decisions based. Sometimes we make decisions based on false narratives, you know, false information of what we think is right, without actually having any studying any part of what we're reacting to.
Yeah.
You know, it's just crazy. That's society. You know, that's why I want my island.
You want your island.
I'm gonna get an island.
Okay, bye.
One day. Island. You're going too. What are you talking about? Yes, you are. So I hope that we're able to put some of this. The idea is to get some of this in the perspective for people, right? Like, the reason why we do this is for us to learn, talk about stuff, and grow, and also share that with everyone. So it's. We hope that we can, you know, you can see that common ground between, you know, why addicts do the things that they do, and how common, and you kind of fall into those same
well, it's not just about addiction, it's just about people in general.
Yeah, we all have problems. All of us, we're made that way.
It's a matter of addressing the problems, and, you know, addressing the problems, not hiding them or throwing it to the side in denial.
And also not judging, maybe not be so judgy about other people that are in some sort of issue or having problems, you know, common ground.
Right.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Leave us a comment below. Let us know what you think about all this. Are you caught in this toxic cycle? Are you starting to notice that you are in this toxic cycle? Are you in some sort of within your addiction? Are you trying to get out of it? Leave a comment below. This could be the first step in a long conversation, maybe towards recovery, maybe towards fixing whatever issues you have, maybe towards helping somebody else. Like, share, subscribe, do all the things, but most importantly, remember to keep coming back.
Stay clean.
Bye.
You do the praying, I do the verse. Why don't you have a picture of me on your phone? I'm leaving your dog.
Hurry up. Because I love my dog.
Justice. Rather, I am speaking the noble truth. Messed up.
You're reading it. How did you
I'm trying to, like, you know. Okay. Nope. I'm ready.
You're not ready? Insanity.
Okay.
But that's all the time.
Fix your throat.
Fix your face.
It is pretty.
In a toxic cycle. Leave us a comment below. We can have a detailed,
Have a serious conversation. How many times have we said this and you still don't have it memorized?
We can have a conversation.
A serious conversation. I saw a picture of my mom's toes today, and that's the direction my toes are going.
Nasty. Why are you looking at your mom's toes?
It was just in the view, and I saw her feet.
Oh my god. Oh, she taking pictures like you used to take?
Yeah.
And she doesn't see how you guys are alike.
She has to get a man, remember? We gotta hook her up.
She doesn't need a man. She needs Jesus. Nasty. Yo, who sends? I don't know if my mom's ever sent a picture with her toes in it.
Better be a 12-minute video.
This will be like an 18-minute.